True seeker here. Twitter told Woods that he had violated the platform's rules with the meme, which very clearly parodies a Democratic advertisement campaign, and was asked to delete the offending tweet. Woods said he would not delete the tweet, saying free speech is free speech. It's not Jack Dorsey's version of free speech. The hoax meme claimed to come from the Democrats and encouraged men not to vote in the midterm elections. Woods acknowledged the meme was probably not real when he shared it, but nonetheless, Twitter told him it still had the potential to be misleading in a way that could impact an election. Coming in from Zero Hedge, it says the offending tweet from July 20th features 3 millennial-aged men with new male smiles and text that reads, "We're making a woman's vote worth more by staying home," above it. Woods writes, "Pretty scary that there is a distinct possibility this could be real. Not likely, but in this day and age of absolute liberal insanity, it is at least possible." According to the screenshots provided by the associates of Woods, Twitter directed the actor to delete the post on the grounds that it contained text and imagery that has the potential to be misleading in a way that could impact an election. In other words, James Woods, who has approximately 1.72 million followers, was suspended because liberals who don't identify as women might actually take the meme serious and not vote. In a statement released through an associate, Sarah Miller, Woods said, "You are a coward," at Jack. Referring to Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, there is no free speech for conservatives on Twitter. Earlier this month, Woods opined on the mass platform ban of Alex Jones, tweeting, "I've never read Alex Jones nor watched any of his video presence on the internet. A friend told me he was an extremist. Believe me that I know nothing about him. That said, I think banning him from the internet is a slippery slope. This is the beginning of real fascism. Trust me." And honestly, none of it makes sense to begin with, because look at all the other things that liberals are posting left and right about Kavanaugh right now, and they're talking about this satirical tweet might affect an election. I mean, honestly, I've never seen Twitter care if the liberals are doing tweets that actually affect the election. Like, as of currently right now, they're allowed to keep tweeting over and over about Kavanaugh being a rapist and a sexual assaulter and everything else. They're allowed to do that, and they don't think that's going to influence the election. Yet a satirical meme that is 100% pure comedy humor, you could tell it is, they say that has to be removed because it might impact an election. Give me a break. I don't know how anybody can even believe their lies. How can anybody believe in the mainstream lies? I don't understand. I mean, it's too plain sight in your face. You can see how there's always 2 levels of tiers for everything. The hypocrisy is really, really thick on these sites. Like, it's okay for the Young Turks to bash whoever they want. They could call out whoever they want. They can even challenge whoever they want. And they don't get flagged for harassment, bullying, or anything like that. But the second some other person does on YouTube or Twitter or anything else, this is what they do. And this is 100% why Donald Trump is drafting an executive order currently right now that's actually going to make it illegal for these social media companies to actually do stuff like this to conservatives. And it's sad that it actually takes another level of government to have to interfere with these places just to be able to regulate it. But, you know, they already accept government funding, so they're practically already owned by the government anyway, so the government should be in control of them, I guess. If it's our tax dollars that's going into these systems, it shouldn't be used against us, the people. It's almost as if we're paying for our own censorship and everything else, and we didn't even have a chance to vote on that. And that's how these big companies just get away with it. They got all the money, they got all the technology, and they definitely got all the masses looking at their content. This is Project Mockingbird on crack, and I'd be shocked if there's anybody out there that still doesn't see through the smokescreen right now. It's too plain sight. Now, speaking of Kavanaugh, Trump actually came out and defended his Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, calling allegations of sexual misconduct lodged against him totally political.
Judge Kavanaugh is an outstanding person, and I am with him all the way. We'll see how it goes with the Senate. We'll see how it goes with the vote. I think it could be, there's a chance that this could be one of the single most unfair, unjust things to happen to a candidate for anything. But I am with Judge Kavanaugh, and I look forward to a vote. And for people to come out of the woodwork from 36 years ago and 30 years ago and never mention it, all of a sudden it happens. In my opinion, it's totally political.
Trump is standing by his nominee to the high court after a second woman, Deborah Ramirez, accused Kavanaugh of exposing himself to her during a party 35 years ago. Ramirez told the New Yorker that during the drunken gathering at Yale University, Kavanaugh put his penis in her face and caused her to touch it. Kavanaugh denied the claim and called it a smear, plain and simple. Ramirez's allegations comes after Kavanaugh has been fighting an allegation from a California professor that he sexually assaulted her 36 years ago. The woman, Christine Blasey Ford, claims Kavanaugh pinned her to a bed, groped her, and tried to undress her during a party when the two were in high school. Kavanaugh has categorically denied that claim. He and Ford are expected to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee about the allegations on Thursday. To top it all off, even Hillary has the audacity to come out and say that they should proceed in these investigations.
And they're trying to rush this through to the detriment of the American public, who deserves to have answers to whatever charges might be presented. So I'm hoping that at some point there will be an agreement to have an investigation. It would be very easy for the FBI to go back and finish the background investigation, to investigate these charges. And, you know, maybe find out there's nothing to them, maybe find out there is something to them, but at least have that investigation completed. And I think that's what is a fair request for due process to be asked for.
She is such a rotten witch. She really felt that way, then she would have let all the investigations happen against her husband, wouldn't she? I don't know. I mean, these floozies, they're literally just coming out of the woodworks. This is the same thing that happens all the time to people that are supposed to be picked to actually start fixing their towns and their cities and their states and everything else. Out of the woodwork, these women come out with these rape allegations all the time. And then usually right after the election, after what they did usually gets the person not to be elected, then all of a sudden it just goes silent. And those people no longer care about their case and stories anymore because it was all made up to begin with. This is literally the exact same thing we seen with Ray Moore. And they tried doing the same thing with President Trump when he first started. I mean, come on. How many times can the boy cry wolf, or should I say the liberal cry rape, just to keep changing election results? Yet, something James Woods posts that was satirical is totally offensive and might impact the election. Give me a break. We clearly see whose sides all these companies are on. And I think we need to start actually holding these people with the fake allegations responsible for what they're doing. This is not just smearing and damaging someone's life, but this is also causing a disservice to people that really are victims. It seems like that these claims and allegations are just getting thrown around so loosely now that it's like the boy who cried wolf story again, and people aren't going to take stuff like this serious. Rape is no joke. It's no joke, and these people are using it just to manipulate an election, and that is just sickening.
The dismissal of the fundamental rules of our justice system by congressmen, senators, congresswomen is stunning. And anyone who's prosecuted sex crimes cases knows that. Criminals rarely commit crimes in public or while a videotape is running. So in addition to the he said, she said, we look for corroborating evidence after we hear the core accusation of who, when, where, and how. Now, we don't expect minuscule details when a victim is being traumatized, but here, the alleged victim does not know the address, the date, the owner of the house, how she got home that night. Why? What was her appearance when she got home? She was 15. Did her mother see her? Did she suffer a behavioral change? Did her grades go down? To whom did she complain and when? In sex crimes cases in particular, recent outcry is compelling and reliable. When the memory is fresh is when you would most expect the complaint. When is the first time she even used the name Kavanaugh? Here, there is no indication of any of that. Physical evidence such as torn clothes, injuries, visits to a doctor, a hospital, photographs, there is none. Corroborating witnesses? Not only are there none, but one who just reported that she heard about this at school retracted her story saying, well, I didn't think I'd actually have to defend that. A man's reputation, family, career, and civil liberties are at stake. And you make a claim and you didn't think you had to be honest? And finally, does the complaint ring true? And a complaint does not gain credibility based on the name of the accused. If that were the case, Bill Clinton's accusers would certainly have gotten their day in court. And what of the credibility and background of the accused? 65 women who've gone to school with him, dated him, worked for him, and know him have come forward to say that his whole life has been about respecting women. Why? If there is such a high recidivism rate, a repeat of these crimes in violent sex crimes cases, have we never heard anything like this after 6 FBI investigations? And motivation. Whenever a complaint is old, any prosecutor would ask, why now? Dr. Ford said she was outed. Well, it was she who contacted 2 Democrat congresswomen 6 weeks before she came forward, and 36 years after it allegedly happened. And why take a lie detector test? If she believed what she was saying, why would she need an outsider to affirm whether what she's saying is true? Might it be part of a long-hatched plan to reveal? Investigators asked for lie detector tests. And by the way, they are so unreliable that I fought for a law in New York that wouldn't allow police to require women to take lie detector tests because they are unreliable. Now, while Ford is highly political, one incident is even more compelling. Do you remember when the president nominated Brett Kavanaugh, we heard that Kavanaugh's mother was a judge? Ford's parents, follow me. Ford's parents had a foreclosure claim against them and their home in 1996 in Maryland. Ford's parents lost their home. The judge ruled against them. The judge was a woman. The judge was Brett Kavanaugh's mother. Many times, victims are teed up by attorneys who want to become famous or rich. Sometimes they're even used by politicians. Take a look.
She's not prepared to talk with them at a hearing on Monday. This just came out 48 hours ago.
No, not 48 hours ago, 36 years ago. Delay becomes even more absurd when she needs to drive across the country to Washington because she won't or can't fly. She was an intern in Hawaii a few years ago. How did she make that trip? Did she drive or surf across the ocean from California to Hawaii? And what's with this? We need the FBI. There's no federal crime here. They keep saying we need the FBI, but they don't ask for it because they know it can't happen. If you want an investigation, call the local police or 911. My friends, truth and justice and law and order don't change depending on the political parties. Women are to be believed not because a political party thinks they should be, but when they sound credible and present a believable scenario. And believability does not depend on the party of the complainant. And all men who were accused have a right to be cloaked in the presumption of innocence unless and until proof beyond a reasonable doubt shatters that presumption. And it matters not what your politics are. That Lady Justice is blind has been the truth in our system from time immemorial. I have honored that lady. I've admired her, and I've been in awe of her for as long as I can remember. But now I fear for her. I fear for Lady Justice. But not just Lady Justice. Our institutions and our bedrock constitutional rules that have made America what Ronald Reagan referred to as the shining city on the hill. We can never allow that to happen. And that's my open.
All I know is that we live in the most craziest times ever right now, where right becomes wrong and wrong becomes right, only by the power of money that's controlling all the major corporations out there. the giant monopolies that rule the masses, or at least try to rule the sheeple, with all their pre-programming, brainwashed BS tactics. And it's the clueless. It's only the clueless that are actually responding and actually raging over this stuff. People that have no clue how to actually think on their own are the only ones that are out there doing this. These people have no clue about what's going on in politics. They don't even know anything about any of the politicians. They don't know anything about government. All they know is what CNN spoon feeds them, and then they go out and react. And that's how this has been going on for years. So it's just all crazy. I don't see this damaging Kavanaugh at all. In fact, I see this actually amplifying him becoming the Supreme Court justice now, because we've seen so many of these boy who cried wolf stories that it's just not funny anymore. We don't buy into it. If these people were serious, they would have reported this stuff years ago. They wouldn't wait till the guy is appointed to be elected as a certain official. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. And the whole world should be able to recognize that. But what do you guys think about all this? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to be able to support my channel, please just send $1 or $2 to the tip jar link below. If you'd like to become a Patreon, all we ask for is $1 or $2 a month. This will help fund all our projects like Buddy List and our future projects that's coming up. Thank you to everybody that's already donating, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Please subscribe to our channel, like our video, and comment below, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace! And don't forget to click the notification bell.